Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Town of Ankrum Planning Board Meeting, Part 2, July 10th. We also met last night for anybody that didn't realize that, so we're here for the second night in a row. Okay, attendance.
Okay, good guess. Well, Phil,
Here.
Donald, not here. Tom,
Here.
Aaron, here. Joe,
Here.
Christine, Jessica, Sarah Porter.
Nope.
Everybody?
Yep, so
Okay,
based on roll call, we have 4 members and 1 alternate which will participate. So we have a quorum, so we can go ahead with the meeting. So, approval of the minutes. We have the minutes from the June 5th meeting in front of us. Has everybody gotten a chance to review them?
yeah, I saw just one thing. What, Sarah Porter's name is not on here on either. I think she was absent. Yeah,
Okay.
that was the only thing I saw.
Anything else? Yeah, I have it. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you didn't have one.
Sorry.
There are questions on that. There's a lot of organizations that will use the limit to be very minor things and the actions that are taken. And it's just I'm sorry. In other organizations that I'm in, minutes are usually limited to just actions that are taken, and these are actual almost transcripts of word for word. And I just would wonder if we should just ask for clarification about whether we have to do this and whether these should be limited to just the actions that the board has taken. And whether we could ask our council at some point which is the appropriate way to go.
We do encapsulate just the brief.
Okay, because
Yes, there's 2 versions.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
But going
okay,
forward.
all right, because
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you can address it. Sure.
Actually, so legally, under open meetings law, you are right that to be legally sufficient, you just really need just action items. However, we personally recommend that they are a little bit more detailed. And the reason for that is that, the minutes are really a history and a record of what took place. And so if you're looking back at an application, like, for example, like we were looking at some application minutes to look back at and prep for some of the applications, and it was super helpful to us. And it would be helpful to the public, helpful for a court if they ever have to look at these minutes to understand what was actually discussed, what your deliberations were. Yes, you do have a recording, but if this ever, if a member of the public has a question on it, they're likely not going to be looking through, like last night's meeting was 2.5 hours. They might not be looking for, what happened at minute 30 or something. So yes, legally, you can just have it to the action. Best practice would be the way that they have been presented. We've looked at a few of them from the past few months. We found them to be very helpful. And we just think it's helps transparency. It helps the public understand what's going on. So it's your discretion, but that's our recommendation.
All right. You know what? My concern is that when you have something that's so detailed like this, that it's really impossible to, unless you compare it to the recording, to go back and say, yeah, this is exactly what happened.
Exactly. It is supposed to be a summary, and I can speak, like I said, I can speak for myself that when I read through the minutes for some of the applications we have looked in, I found them to be very helpful. And like I said, when we've had other municipalities that we've had to go into an Article 78 proceeding, we found that more detailed minutes were beneficial for the board.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I ask a follow-up question? Would it be acceptable or recommended? Because to your point, I think for reviewing them or reflecting on were there any major action items missed, we can include a condensed version and a more comprehensive version. It's easy to.
Kind of like a
it's easy
cover
to
sheet
do.
almost.
Yeah, like, or an executive summary. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you'd like to do that, like I said,
Okay.
in terms of legal sufficient, the important thing is to make sure you have all your motions, all your seconds, all your votes. It is just very helpful for a lot of different avenues to have a little bit more detailed. And if you want to do it like a summary and then something attached to it, that way people can pick and choose what they want to do, that's fine too.
Okay, so has everybody looked through the minutes? Are there any comments, changes based on what we have in front of us? We ready to make a motion or we still? Just comments, yeah.
I'll make a motion for the minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
You're
Aye.
right.
Okay. The June 5th meeting minutes are approved. Okay. Correspondence. We have any separate correspondence? I'm sorry. Do we have any
I
correspondence?
don't know. Not that I know of.
I didn't. I didn't see anything that's on the agenda.
You wanna?
There are a few letters.
Maybe.
I think as everybody knows, we've been working without a planning board clerk and we're trying to do everything the best we can with the board and whatever assistance we can get. So been a little difficult.
And from
so-
Stephanie Bernheim.
What was that?
And then a second one from Stephanie Bernheim, both related to the, oh no, excuse me. Stephanie's was about Homeland Towers.
Just what's on the agenda here.
Yeah, Jeffries is about the solar.
Okay. Is it something that's readable or?
We have a couple copies here.
So we do have.
We have printed out copies. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we just got.
Okay, well, let's get to that part
You
of
have to
it.
come up to the,
Okay.
oh, well, or do you want to wait?
Yeah, just.
We'll wait till we open that
Okay.
part.
Conflict checks, Tom had a conflict on the solar farm and he has reclused himself and he's not here this evening.
Donald.
Donald, I'm sorry, Donald. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, Donald's not here this evening, so it's not an issue, so. Like I said, we have four full-time board members and our alternate, so we have a quorum. So we can proceed. So, the first application is old business was the Ankrum PV LLC, which is a special use permit and a site plan. The applicant's here. If you'd like to make an opening statement, please.
That on?
You can sit.
Try to address as many people as I can. Good evening. My name is Sierra. I'm a project developer with Rick Energy. I'm here with my colleague, Nick. Okay. Who's an environmental, I don't know. Okay. Who's an environmental permitter with Rick. We're here on behalf of the Ankrum Solar Project. I think at the last June meeting, we went over the FEAF. The board went through part 2 of seeker. We asked that the board hold on making a determination so that it could be reviewed by a third party. I think there were some comments from the planner. We haven't seen those, so I'm not sure what came of that, or if that needs to be discussed today. There seems like maybe there's a suggestion that the planner should be here in person. Regardless, I know the plan was to ask the board to close the public hearing tonight and make that determination, but we did notice that there was not a notice of the meeting. And so any action by the board under the open meetings law, we think would be void. And we don't want to run that risk with the application. So we would like to ask the board to postpone any of those action items until the next meeting.
Understood. Nan, are you on? Our planner was requested to be on, and I thought she was, but apparently something changed. And she's not available, and we wanted her assistance, and we will share her comments with you.
Okay.
Well, they're available. There wasn't a lot, but
Okay.
it was the things that we marked as, a substantial or a large.
Okay. Yeah, we were under the impression that there might have been a couple of items that were marked as moderate. So we were prepared to go through part 3 with you today. But if the planner, I guess, is not available and the recommendation is that she be here, then I guess.
It's unfortunate, but I think it would be best to do it when our planner is on board.
Okay.
Stop this thing,
Do you have any thoughts on the seeker?
to turn it off. It's my,
Yeah.
it's my. It's,
Alarm?
yeah, it's my,
Oh,
yeah, and I don't know why it's doing it, but it's doing it, so I gotta shut it off.
so we have to.
So I think the plan going forward then will be to ask the planner to attend the August meeting.
Yes,
We'll go through, or the board will go through part 2 with the recommendations of the planner. And then I guess we can all go through part 3 as well, if there are any moderate impacts.
yes, I think that would be the better scenario at this point than risk
Sure.
any.
Okay, yeah. I know there was also, the board wanted to do an informal kind of straw poll on the application in general. So I don't know if
I
that's
think
still
we're gonna wait till after sequence time.
to even take the informal.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Let's see what those impacts turn out to be at the end of the day before we make a decision.
okay.
Is that okay, Kim? Okay, all right, so being everybody's still here, the public hearing is still open. We're not gonna close it because of the circumstances. If there's anybody that hasn't spoke or there's anything new that you'd like to add, obviously there was a letter, so if you want to step up and.
Hi, my name is Andrea Bell Gashke. I live at 450 Woodsport Road in Ancrumdale. And my neighbor Jeff Baker just submitted an email today to the board with some questions and some concerns. And so I'll read his email and his attachments with his questions. So he wrote, Dear Planning Board, I am writing to register several questions and concerns regarding the proposed nearly 10-acre solar project on Route 82. Hill Rock Farm and Farm Distillery is a family-owned and operated agricultural business located on Pools Hill Road which farms over 800 acres and employs 15 people in the community. We support sustainable energy and care deeply about preserving Ancrum's farming heritage and the bucolic rural landscape that is so critical to attracting tax-paying residents and viable businesses such as ours. I understand from several neighbors that the project may be discussed at the planning meeting this evening. Unfortunately, they're hosting an event at their home and they will not be able to attend, but they have attached this summary of questions for the developer and for the town to address. So it says here, the 10-acre solar farm proposed by Ancrum PV LLC is located on 90 acres of largely prime farmland on Route 82, adjacent to one of the oldest family farms in the country, and will be visible for several miles along the scenic ridgeline to the southwest of the site. This proposed industrial development is in stark contrast to the surrounding rolling farmland and requires a special use permit. As such, the town is tasked with making a careful and fully informed decision, as this precious rural farm landscape would be very materially changed by the project. Questions and concerns to be answered by the developers and the town are as follows. 1. Incorrect environmental/visual impact disclosure. The developer's environmental assessment form and visual impact assessments incorrectly state that, quote, the project site is not visible from any public vantage points. Existing vegetation and undulating topography will naturally screen the project, end quote. In fact, the project is situated high up on the southwest facing hillside, will be clearly visible for several miles along the facing ridgeline, including sections of Cottontail Road, which is designated in the Ancrum Comprehensive Plan as an identified scenic area. Point 2, potential glare pollution. While we understand that the project's nearly 10 acres of glass solar panels will have a special coating, experts say, quote, solar panels can effectively absorb vertically incident light, but they are prone to generating glare pollution when sunlight is at a low angle, end quote. Developer reported that they have not completed a glare study, but were willing to complete one. Given that the panels will be visible for several miles along the facing ridgeline, a glare study should be completed and residents should be given assurances that their properties will not be negatively impacted by glare. Point 3, decommissioning risk. At the end of its 35-year useful life, the solar farm will need to be dismantled and the disturbed farmland returned to its original condition. Installation of the 2,000 plus panels will require foundations, roads, and electrical equipment, which will require removal. The Department of Agriculture and Markets also requires that disturbed soil must be decompacted and topsoil is to be replaced. The developer's decommissioning plan has an estimated budget of $163,000 based upon current costs and uses a 2% annual inflation rate for 35 years to arrive at $479,385 bond amount to cover this cost. A qualified independent third party should be retained to evaluate the estimated decommissioning costs, and a higher assumed inflation rate should be used to establish the required bond amount. Assuming the 20-year historical USA inflation rate of 2.46% and estimated current costs of $200,000, the required bond amount would be over $700,000 versus the proposed $479,000 bond. Point 5, completion risk. The project will be developed by Ancrum PV LLC, a special purpose company with limited assets. Solar projects typically receive material government subsidies, including tax credits worth as much as 30% of project costs, which may be lost under the One Big Beautiful Bill Act signed into law by President Trump on July the 4th, which significantly rolls back many of the core tax incentives that solar energy projects have relied on historically. The developer should provide details of their project financing, and a completion bond should be considered to ensure that if construction of the project is initiated, it will in fact be completed. Next point, tax exemption. It is understood that the project may be granted a real estate tax abatement by the town of Ancrum, despite the fact that the project will not generate any material ongoing jobs in the town. The developer should provide an explanation of any material economic benefits to be generated for the town's residents. If tangible benefits, such as permanent jobs, do not reasonably justify abatement, then an abatement should not be granted. Following point. Project site plan modification. The proposed nearly 10-acre solar panel array is located on a long southwest facing open hillside to the north of Route 82. Due to the exposed location, existing and planned screening will be ineffective at masking the project for several miles of facing ridgeline to the south and east of the site. If the project is to proceed, developers should work with the impacted neighbors in the area to relocate the panels to a more protected field to the south of the existing proposed location. With proper siting, screening would be more effective and visual damage could be reduced.
Thank you.
Being moved. Rest.
Yeah, so this is the fourth public hearing that we've had. Many of these questions have been asked and answered. I can try to go through and re-answer some of them at a higher level. As far as the alternative site proposal, we did an alternative site analysis. The alternate location that was proposed on the property would exceed the grading limits that are allowed by the code. So that's why we couldn't choose that location, although it might have been more well screened. It would just not be in compliance with the code. The tax issue, any pilot that would be negotiated for the project is under the purview of the town board or the county. So the planning board does not have the authority to make decisions over the taxing of the project. In regards to decommissioning, 2 third parties have reviewed the decommissioning plan and estimate. The town contracted with a planner and also with an engineer, both of whom reviewed the decommissioning plan and the estimate. The engineer did state in his comments that the estimate was in line with other projects that he had seen, and there were not any other substantial comments. We did address any comments on the entire application that they reviewed. Yes, it is also adjustable. I believe it's every 5 years. The board can re-review the estimate and change the inflation amount if that is necessary per just kind of the state. Visual impacts, that was also reviewed by third parties. The planner and the engineer reviewed the visual impact assessment. We also had it done by a third party, and their methodologies with how they choose the locations are explained in the assessment. And they chose the locations where it's most likely to be viewable. I know there was a comment, I think, about the scenic viewway. The code, I'm forgetting exactly what it's called. There's a scenic overlay district where solar is not permitted, and this is not within that district. So that's also another point where we're in compliance with the code. I'm not sure.
Glare.
Oh, glare. Yeah. So the code does not require any sort of glare study to be done. I'm not sure what the citations are to the experts that were quoted. But one of the things with our project is that these are tracking panels. So because they will track with the sun and move, that also helps to eliminate glare because they will be moving with the sun. So it's not going to be bouncing back in the same way as just a fixed tilt. So I think screening. So we did the visual assessment. We did propose screening. We also changed some of that screening based on feedback from the board, and Rob, one of the other planning developers on the project, did meet with some of the neighbors, and we added additional screening to the site to help with some of those impacts. So I think overall, we've done maybe 3 iterations of revisions based on feedback from the board, from the public, from the planner, from the engineer. So it has been a very thoroughly reviewed application.
Completion bond?
There's not a requirement for a completion bond in the code as well. It's not something that I've seen with projects of this size. I guess on the tax credit thing, we run financial models with tax incentives and without them because we don't apply for those until later on and we don't know what we're going to be able to get. So we are confident that the project is going to be financeable regardless of any tax incentive.
We can require the decommission bond to be in place before the start of construction, so.
The decommissioning bond, yes, so that will
If
be,
you don't finish.
and you can use that,
we can
exactly.
use
That's a
that
great
to
point.
make it-
Yeah, so that bond will be posted, I believe, when we apply for the building permit. So,
Correct. Is there anything else that she should
I think
address?
that was the list. It sounds like she got everything.
Okay.
Excuse me? Oh, you want? to take-
Yeah, go ahead. Please identify yourself.
Am I on the Zoom? Are you hearing me now?
Yes,
Hi, I'm Lawrence Goldberg and I'm a next door neighbor to the,
Don't click that.
I'm a next door neighbor to the project. And I have come late to these meetings because frankly, my notice got lost in the mail. And I didn't get notice until prior to the last meeting, which I attended. I have reviewed the materials myself. And what I do not find is sufficient transparency with regard to the visual impacts. I have heard that they are making some changes and some screening, but I do not see a visual impact report based on their screening and what the anticipated viewing is from, and I'm a next door neighbor, and I don't know, and I called Mr. Rick, but he did not call me back. And I don't know exactly what will be visible from myself and my neighbor's property. Also, I don't know anything about the noise that will be generated and the times of the proposed construction. Will it be weekend? What will the hours be? Uh, they say in the report it will not produce noise that will substantially impact. Substantially impact is a very vague term. I don't know what substantial impact means, but because I haven't seen any report as to what the construction they're going to do is anticipated. They say louder noise will be generated. Well, how long will the louder noise be, and what roadways will do they intend to create? How much interference with the activities of daily life will this be? Is it limited to 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., 5 days a week? Is it Saturday at 5 in the morning? We don't know that, and they haven't produced that in any of their materials. So we have no idea of the construction. And we do not know what the post-installation sounds are. They have no report as to this is a very big project. Post-installation sounds can be very annoying to neighbors forever. We already don't know about the glare, and we don't know whether or not they have to mitigate the entire project in green. And I don't see anywhere where they say that. We may have a screen here and we may have a screen there, but it seems to me that we've gotten as limited a level of transparency as they could provide. And I think it would be beneficial to the planning board to ask for increased noise analysis, to have a new visual report so that we can more accurately see what they're intending to do. This is a huge project, but I think everybody on the board knows it, and it's going to affect the neighbors forever. So if they're thinking of doing this, we have to know as much information as possible. Lastly, I'll say, I don't see they've given any givebacks to the town of Ankrum. Nothing. All the benefits and no givebacks. Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
As far as the noise, most codes have work hours listed in their code. I don't recall, but I will look into
Did we
see.
discuss this?
Yeah. The construction hours are in the FEAF and they are, per the code, I believe it's Monday through Saturday, 7 to 7,
That's what I thought.
which was in
there, but-
compliance with the code.
Probably not in compliance with my living conditions. 7 to 7, 6 days a week. My God.
Well, how long?
That's what the code says. So if we can do that, we'll do as much as we can so that it can be in as short of a time as possible. And the time frame generally for a project like this, we would say is maybe 5 to 6 months.
And it currently is a farm field, which farmers are not restricted at all. So they could farm.
Right. Yeah.
24/7.
Yeah. There are many activities that you can do without any noise regulation. So yeah. So in terms of the construction part, we are in compliance with the code for construction hours. It is listed in the FEAF. As far as roads, I think that was touched on. The only road is going to be the access road. That's all we're going to use for construction and operation of the project. In terms of noise after construction of the project, there is a pretty detailed noise study in the application. We have gone over that a couple of times in meetings with the board, but if I recall correctly, there are some, the report kind of gives a list of items, like household items that the level of noise would be similar to. And I think it's like the hum of a refrigerator
I
or
think it's
something like
55
that.
decibels.
So it's
55.
quite low. And it is also, the level of decibel is under the requirements of the
Yeah.
code as well.
And there's no rock removal or blasting on the site.
No, there won't be any blasting.
And in terms of the mitigation, visual mitigation,
Yeah, so we've done several iterations of the visual impact assessment. After the board reviewed it, they requested an additional viewpoint, which we went ahead and did. They also requested leaf-off conditions, which we went ahead and did. Unfortunately, without access to private property, that we can't go on to just any neighbor's property to assess what their specific view would be. And the code also doesn't require us to do that. So the code requires screening from public places. So that's what we did in terms of the visual impact assessment, which, as I said, had been resubmitted a couple of times. But if you wanted to see the actual placement of the trees, you could look at the actual plans. And you can see.
I tried to
about-
look at all the plans I could find on the site, on the board. I did not see any visual studies, including proposed mitigations, and I just still do not understand what the visual impact would be along Route 82.
So the project is located pretty far back from Route 82. I think it's over 1,000 feet from any side of Route 82. So it's quite far away. In addition, the topography helps screen it. Trees that already exist help screen it. And then we proposed additional new plantings on 2 sides of the array, which that is viewable on the plan set. I'm not sure what page it's on, but you can also see details about what types of trees are going to be planted and things like that as well.
Why don't you do plantings on all sides of the array?
I guess yeah, a lot of the all of the existing vegetation is going to remain. The location on the property where the array is already pretty much completely circled by existing trees. And in addition, the greater property line is also almost entirely surrounded by trees. Where we placed the screening was based on the visual impact assessment. So one of the sides where we placed screening was in one of the locations where it would be you could potentially see it from 82. It is very far away, but we did add additional screening just to be extra cautious and safe with that. And then the other screening we added was to the backside of the parcel.
I had just one question. Construction noise. I think the caller asked about post noise. I think the noise maybe of putting posts in the ground. Did I understand it correctly?
For the
The
construction,
construction phase.
during construction, that's all there's gonna be. Yeah, we're just like pile driving the posts.
But it is like pile driving.
Yeah,
There's screw piles that they use for the most.
That's right.
I mean, it's like counting in a fence.
Okay.
I think post means after the construction.
Oh,
And
okay, okay.
There
okay.
is some
Noise.
noise
All right, all right.
from the inverters.
Okay,
which
that's good
they-
to actually know about the other. That there will be some noise while they're going over and putting those fixtures into the ground.
oh, yeah, I mean, your standard construction, there's gonna be trucks on site and things like that, so that's
Sometimes
gonna,
There's ways of pressing those posts in, sometimes, I don't know, that are
Okay.
less intrusive than pounding them.
yeah, that I'm not sure.
Okay. All
I
right.
guess I'll move out of my house for a year.
Well, I just wanted to point out that on the website, all of the information should be on there. And so you were looking for a visual impact assessment, and there's photographs and it detailed look of how it looks from different points. So that might help you a little bit to understand where you are and where things are happening. It should be on the website under commercial applications. I think it's on the homepage of our website. And then under that, then you can open up the solar application. And all of this information is on that website, on that link to, it's a link to a Dropbox.
I have a question. I was wondering.
You need to come up. Can you? Oh, yeah.
I was just wondering, you said you put screening, additional screening on the back side and one other side. What side?
So there's two locations where there's screening. One of the locations where there was screening was from the initial application, that stayed. And then we added additional screening against the property line on the far side. I'm not sure what, yeah, their property. I'm not sure how you would say, north. I think there is screening along the west side. I think that was initially proposed. If I'm explaining that
Yeah,
side
I'm
correctly.
not finding the north arrow here, but on this plan, it's here,
Yeah.
which is north arrow. Oh, here's the north
North would
side.
be this.
So
way.
this is the west side.
Yeah.
So there is trees along the west side, which, hold on, I'm looking to find.
It's a
that.
mix of both.
There's no pine trees.
What we are proposing to plant is a mix of both.
So they've got red maples, they've got white pines, they have oak. And there's hemlock. So the hemlocks are mostly going on that north side. And so the one on the west side, oh, there's some hemlock in there too. So there's the oak, there's pine, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are different areas. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pines, 3 hemlocks, 6 pines. We have a little map here that so this updated version is not on our website yet because we're not posted them. We're gonna try to figure that out. Let's go.
But they should be available for the public review and, maybe if you make an appointment with the clerk, you can be able to look at these
Yes. these
applications.
are-
That way you
these
can
are
kind of see
here
them a little
if
bit
you
better
wanna
too.
come in. The one I left on your desk is the new updated one. Yeah,
We don't have this.
right.
We have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they.
We
emailed it.
submitted a Dropbox link
Yeah.
electronically.
Find it in the
Yeah.
email.
So I guess a point of note with the newest revision, I think that was submitted in May. The major updates were the screening. It looks like there's a lot of additional, new materials. There's a list in the table of contents that kind of explains what was changed. Most of the documents in the resubmission, the LOD had to be changed. So that's not like a substantial thing, like nothing changed. We actually lessened the limits of disturbance from, I think, 9.93 to 9.04 acres. So the majority of the documents in the most recent submission were just like a minor, like kind of clerical or administrative change to be accurate across all of the documents. The major update was the additional screening.
And
On
that
the site
included all
plans.
the county's comments?
Yes, there were, you had the county letter.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did not have the county letter by the time that we submitted this.
Are you guys amenable to putting up even more additional screening based on community feedback?
We've tried to talk about additional screening. We've gone back and reviewed. There's screening that exists naturally, which we are not touching. So that will remain in place. And anything additional, we don't feel, and the third party who did the visual impact assessment doesn't feel would make a difference. So we could try to add more, but what it would screen is.
Last meeting, I asked you about the proposed tree line. Did you find out what that is for? Excuse me? Oh, Paul Gashke.
So there was just a little written note on one of the plans that said proposed tree line. That was like a carryover from an old plan. So it's not a new proposed tree line. That is an existing tree line. There is going to be some maintenance done to that. It was suggested by the board that we clear some vines from those. So we'll clear those vines, but there's not an additional screening there. And that note was like a mistaken cat essentially.
But just to be clear that if there's shadowing of the solar array, because there's 70-foot trees there, then that proposed tree line wasn't in case you had to take down those trees because it was shading the solar.
So we do shading analysis when we look at the existing, topography and we put the solar array. There's not going to be removal of any trees for issues of shading. We've accounted for all of that. There's sufficient setback from that tree line to the fence and to the array, so there's not going to be a shading issue.
Let me ask this. I mean, the screening is obviously difficult to determine because the panels aren't in place. We're going by what we believe we're going to see. Do you have a landscape budget in your proposal?
I don't know that there's like a budget for landscaping proposed. I mean, we did the visual impact assessment and there was our professional landscape designers who did the assessment, did the simulations, proposed the screening. They only proposed that initial line on the west side because that's all they felt was going to be necessary and that's all they believed was going to make an impact. The only reason that we added the additional screening was at the request of the board and neighbors, which we consulted with. So.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping if we could leave something open to when the panels are in place, if this gets approved, to do additional landscaping if we have to.
That I'm not sure about because my understanding is that like the plans get approved and that's what has to be built and anything later would have to later be approved.
Yes,
That's my
I
understanding.
understand that.
So yeah,
But-
so that would not be part of this application, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm just trying to come up with a way where we can help, put some of these fears to rest if something can be done, if we see something we didn't expect to see.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we will have to submit as-built plans, and maybe at that point things can be reviewed. But I can't say that now based on,
Well, it's something to think about. And maybe you have to go back to your powers that be and see if they're open to doing something if we don't feel we're getting what we thought we were getting.
With respect to that, the added trees that you put to shade our house, which wasn't a part of the original assessment. You need like 20-foot trees because it's very, very low. Will you be able, and the area that you marked off, if you can move is, now you're saying you can't change anything, because if you were able to move it closer to the edge of the property, you wouldn't need such high trees, but there's a lot of vegetation there where you'd have to put the trees. Would you be able to alter when you do the screening? Slightly like that?
yeah, my understanding is that the trees we placed there are on the property line.
They're really
I think they're
close
like as close to the property line as we can get.
to your
But
wood.
but it's much lower.
No,
Yeah.
so the ones to help screen for you,
Yeah.
for your house are up close to your house, up close to the woodland.
Not in that tree, not in the, where the tree exists.
They're just beyond your trees.
Yeah, it's very, I mean, seriously, it's like 16, 20 foot trees.
Well, they're planting 12 to 15 foot tall. Is what
At planting, which they'll grow, I think. Or is that their estimated total height?
You know what? This is so hard to see. Size is, well, they're going by caliber.
There's a caliper, and then I think there's also a height at planting. But they are on the property line, and we placed them there because that was going to be,
Yeah.
I studied that.
Oh, okay, you
made it on the Google map.
Okay.
yeah. I think maybe the reason they look like they're going to be planted that far away is because once they, grow and leaves are on them, it's going to be closer to your property line. And so that's probably just leaving room for that. Yeah, I think Rob went out with you and was around there. So yeah, he looked at that and they consulted with our,
No, it's not net zone that's identified.
I mean, we definitely reserve the right to move them around within the zone if there's space, but I don't think that there's definitely a reason why we would not have put them right on the property line. And my best guess would be because as they grow, they're going to have branches that come out and stuff, and we're not going to have those over your property line.
Lines and vegetation there, a lot more work. Find something.
I'm not sure about that.
So you're talking about the north border? You're talking about the north border?
And you're gonna maintain these plants
Yes.
and protect from deer eating them and or
We can
replace
ask-
them if deer.
Can ask for a landscape bond. That we can ask for. So that what dies has to be replaced. It's not.
They'll be maintained, and everything that is planted will be maintained. And if something happens, they'll be replaced. And yeah,
Is that in here? Does that say that?
I'm sure it does. Even it definitely says somewhere that we are maintaining all of the vegetation that we plant and that we put in, and we're maintaining, the pollinator habitat where we put the seeds between the arrays. We're mowing and stuff like that. Like all of that is being maintained by the project. I think that would be in the operations and maintenance plan, or it might be detailed on the civil set as well.
Well, it certainly can be included in our resolution. I think a landscape bond is not unreasonable. Yes, sir.
Just based on the landscaping plan, we can certainly make that as a condition that it has to be maintained and in good health. And also part of your solar law does require that there's a landscape maintenance plan and guarantee that the plantings shall maximally screen the systems within 5 years and remain in decommissioned. So there is definitely authority to be doing
Yeah,
that.
I think a bond
And-
would make us more comfortable because once it
Mhm.
dies, it's hard to find somebody. to
Yeah,
cover
that's the problem with trees,
Yeah.
but we certainly can put some conditions in there. Sir,
So did you just say that it had to be screened in 5 years? The way it's written is that your hedges will be maximum extinguished system within 5 years and remain it until decommission. So they should be fully grown within that 5-year period. Yeah. Well, yeah, these are small plants. So that was one thing I brought up at one of the other meetings when we talked about this, that the plants that are gonna be on the west side, that the level that's at the bottom of the hill and just the from the topo plan, that's 16 feet from the top of the hill where the array is down to the bottom where these trees are gonna be planted, plus 12 feet for the array. So that's 16 plus 12, and these guys are at planting 7-foot minimum. And some of these is like, 2.5-inch caliper, which is, they're pretty little. And so I don't know if that could be one of the things that can larger plants be installed.
Yeah, so with us wanting to screen as much as we can and put as many plants as we can, putting them in smaller means we can put more. So that's kind of one of the main thought processes behind that. With the topography the way it is, and with the height of the panels and things, you're never going to be able to fully cover it. You can't put in 60-foot trees to cover from down here way up a hill. So, we can do the best that we can with, various trees at various heights, different styles and types at planting. We'll maintain them, they'll grow. But yeah, it's never going to be fully covered. So.
My problem with this type of landscaping is never gonna get water, because there isn't any water, and the death rate is gonna be
Maintenance of them and.
substantial.
I don't mean to cut you off. I just have a question. So at last night's meeting, when we were talking about the other application, we had mentioned that we do have, because it sounds like the landscaping is a big concern of the board and the efficiency and that's being proposed. We had mentioned at the last night's meeting about having a visual assessment consultant, and John is going to get you that name. I don't know if that's something you want to consider for this one as well. I know you have to get an estimate and get it through the town board, but anyway, I just want to put that as a consideration because this seems to be a very timely topic for both the board and the public too. I just want to put that on as a consideration. And you can consider how you want to do that, but I just want to put that out there.
Thank you.
When he gets us the name, we'll.
Sure.
Okay, your turn.
Hi, my name is Derek Porter. I live on Roche Drive in Ancrumdale. I've got a couple of comments to offer, but in the vein of visual screening, which is a hot topic, obviously, that people are concerned about. I feel like we're talking in the abstract a great deal, looking at a plan view and a few section drawings that show the topography, height of trees, sight lines, scale of solar panels would be probably really helpful. I haven't seen the plan documents. I don't know if they include sections. And if they don't,
They call out the heights on things, so.
yeah, but it's still abstract. So if we had a section drawing, I think that it would make some of these questions and concerns a bit more tangible. Is it possible to develop such a thing?
There is a, oh, this is the road. There's a road profile. Yeah, the road profile.
Yeah, probably the
So
best thing to do is a grading
while
plan.
that's being contemplated, I mean, it's still an outstanding question. I don't want to deviate from that too far, but as an expansion to that, and reaching back to the last planning board meeting, I raised the suggestion that we have a community meeting to discuss some of these topics, which would give broader community members opportunity to have more detailed dialogue and to view drawings, large scale drawings that could be pinned up on a wall so that people could see the relationships a bit more clearly and hopefully satisfy concerns, and to invite Rick Energy to that meeting to be part of that conversation. So, so I'm posing that now publicly, with the idea that if we have drawings and documents that clearly communicate some of the concerns that some people are having difficulty understanding, I think that would be beneficial to everybody, to the town, and to Rick Energy to help process the initiative, possibly. We have a few dates in mind for this community meeting. A few of us have been in communication about this, and I reached out to Rick Energy. We haven't heard back yet, but would you be willing to take part in a public discussion of this nature? We have a couple of dates, the 14th and the 23rd.
Okay, so I guess to just take a step back and look at the application on the whole, this application was submitted in December of 2024. It was made public at that time. So all of the application materials have been online, have been viewable here at the town hall in large size plans for about 7 months now. All of the planning board meetings have been public, and we have been at all of them. This is the 4th hearing. So we've been in public hearing public comments for 4 months as well. We've made several revised submissions based on comments from the zoning enforcement officer, from the planning board, from the third-party planner who did review the visual impact assessment and the landscaping plan, from the engineer who reviewed all of the application materials as well. We've done another revised submission based on feedback in May. And so we've addressed a lot of these concerns and have attempted to, accept any kind of constructive comments and make changes to the application as best that we can. We have met with the neighboring landowners as well. We've offered 3 site visits for the planning board, and we are willing to meet with the public. We didn't hear from you for about a month, so that was, then we were coming here to this meeting. And so, if you would like to meet to discuss, Rob and I said that we would be willing on the 23rd if you wanted to do that date. However, the board has already done part 2 of the seeker, and they're going to review that at the next meeting. So I would say that changes to the application at this point are likely not going to happen. We can continue to discuss the plans as they are, but we don't anticipate any changes at this point in the process.
Yeah, I had asked Robert last week if he had heard from the neighbors, and he said no.
Yeah, I think it was Monday or Tuesday we got an
I don't know
email.
when, if it was very, very recent.
Monday or Tuesday of this week.
Okay, because I asked him last week and he said he hadn't heard and I asked if the meeting happened, and he said, because they
Yeah.
never contacted me. So that's in your preview, the board is not going to be involved.
Right, yes. We understand that that would be outside. We've tried to be very accommodating with the application with both the board and the public, and we will continue to address, any comments and questions about the application that we can. But I guess I would stress that this is a fully compliant project, and we have done as much as we can, as much as what we think is necessary to screen the project to the best of our ability. And we understand that that's a concern, and it might be in the abstract, but it's always going to be in the abstract until it's built.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
So I'm new to this process and new to this subject. I recognize that you've done a lot. It's a lot of work putting a plan like this together, and the fact that you have to come here and stand in front of us and present, it's a load without question. At the same time, this is where we are right now. And as I mentioned in the last meeting to you, you two and Rob, I would recommend that it's in your best interest to try to get more of the community behind your endeavor. So to have a meeting with us, to have a discussion, a productive, respectful discussion, to hear what's being offered, to hear the concerns, and to consider adjustments to your plan. It may delay your process a little bit. But despite the fact that you're meeting code, meeting base requirements, all of those matters, there's the community support that we're asking you to consider. So it's an extension beyond the base level requirements. So we're asking for that support. So, and just to have a conversation. So this is where we are right now in the process. And we would also request to the planning board to allow the meeting to happen, and to, for us to submit a report or minutes from that meeting and any potential recommendations, just to receive it and to consider it on behalf of the community.
Thank you. Okay, is there anybody else that wants to make a comment? Terry?
In all the studies, was there any studies on surrounding properties devaluation? No. Is there going to be? No.
We don't do any studies on property devaluation. That's certainly not our area of expertise. There is some research that's conflicting about property values with very, very large projects that span, 100+ acres. There's not much research that I've seen to show conclusive evidence that any property values, there's any issue with property values up or down with such a small project. No, I'm not saying that. That's
All right, we can't go back and forth, okay? The statement's been made, you've reacted, that's good, thank you. Back to the board. Board have any other questions at this point in time? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to extend the public hearing to next meeting, which I believe is the 7th of August. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so we'll see you again next month. Hope your neighborhood meeting goes well. Thank you. Thank you.
Application. We'll try to get we'll get Nan to come to that meeting if
Yes.
it's available. We'll be able to continue with those two
Yes.
questions on seeker.
Yes.
And if the board is satisfied with the discussion with Nan, you can continue with your EAF 3
Yes.
to do deliberations.
Yes, we have to get through that, so
You have to do seeker before you can do the,
reach out to her.
yeah,
I mean, I prefer her in person, but if she has to be on Zoom, that's okay, but I prefer her in
sure,
person.
understood. Yeah,
It makes,
So we need to reach out.
I will also.
yeah, I can reach
Oh,
out
okay.
or
Yeah.
you
I
can.
wasn't sure.
They've been in
Filling
direct
clerk
contact.
duties here, so.
No, whatever's easiest, but we can reach, we were in contact with Dan on other projects. We can just-
When I spoke
Okay.
to her on Tuesday, she said she could be at this hearing and I don't.
I think there was, I think there was a miscommunication
Okay,
somewhere.
that's
along the line,
fine.
So,
I can't turn back the clock, so.
yeah,
Um,
And we'll make sure it's notified.
okay.
Yeah. and with the notice, you have to do as best, as what is reasonably applicable in this situation. So, it is a continuation. So, and you're on the record saying it's going to be continued. It's not like it's a new public hearing. So I think, we're working with what you have. But we'll try to get everything in line.
Thank you.
Just one thought. We broke up this month's meetings because of these two applications.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't decided whether we want to do that, but I had motions made for the 7th for both hearings.
Correct, yes.
If we were to decide to split it,
Well, one thing you could do, see, it is, you did make a motion at both meetings to continue it to the hearing, so that is what is on the record. if you would need to do a special meeting, you would have to go through the notice and they would probably have to be like, to all the adjoining landowners and it probably would be a lot. I know it would be a long
We have
meeting.
to suffer through it, but maybe
Yeah,
that's all.
I'll look into a little bit more of the procedures for that, just
Yeah,
to see if
it's-
there's any options, but
We haven't discussed whether we want to.
Understood.
It's getting to be, pretty cumbersome having 2 meetings a month.
yeah, I understand.
Anyway, all right.
Okay.
Thank you. Next application, Bronx House Emmanuel Camp. I think we're good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I
Abbreviated
think
site plan
the next
review.
couple are pretty straightforward.
We're available, you're always available for a
Okay, thank you. We do need that answer on the. No, that and also about the site selection. Additional, whether that's. Yes, for the tower. Could you come a little closer? Please.
Plan.
Yes, we have large plans.
Yeah,
for this one. I think he wants you over there in the blue box. Okay.
Could you use the microphone so it's on the record? Thank you. And restate your name, please.
All right. Starting over. My name is Chris Knox. I'm with Crawford and Associates Engineering. Here representing the Bronx House Emmanuel Camp project. We also have the director of the camp, Adam Weinstein, here in the house tonight. So yeah, we had a follow-up submission to our previous submission following the feedback from the board at the previous meeting. Not sure if you'd like me to step through like a broad overview of the project again, or if you'd like to just jump into the updates. I'll leave that open to you as far as how you'd like to proceed.
Do a broad as quickly as you can.
Sure. Okay. No problem at all. So as I speak, I will walk through some of the drawings here for you. But overall, Bronx House Emmanuel Camp is an existing children's summer camp that's located along Empire Road in the town of Ankrum. The property actually spans in the town of Ankrum and Kopek. But obviously we're here tonight just speaking about proposed buildings to be located in the portions of the property in the town of Ankrum. All right, so the camp has approximately 612 total acres in both Ankrum and Kopek. We're talking about a portion that's located in the town of Ankrum, of course. It's approximately 289 acres. It is located in the Ag zoning district. And given some conversations with the zoning enforcement officer, Mr. Ferrato, we're seeking site plan review and special use permit for a proposed new 3-unit staff cabin, multifamily dwelling. And we're also seeking abbreviated site plan review for a proposed single family dwelling for the director.
Is both things on this one application?
So we had submitted at the direction of Mr. Ferrato, we had submitted 2 separate applications to make that clear for the board. Yeah.
Okay.
What was the reason for the abbreviated site plan for the single family?
Near wetland.
So the code allows, an abbreviated process for single family residences.
But there's
So
certain
It's a
things,
trigger.
there's a trigger, yeah.
Wetlands,
Is that the trigger?
it's one of them.
Okay, all right.
sure, yep.
And well, it's not near an agricultural thing, but.
That's normally.
Usually what triggers
Right,
it.
right.
Sorry.
No, no problem at all. All right, so I'll jump right to so this is our updated overall plan. At the previous meeting, we had discussed providing some clarifications just to better indicate where the proposed structures were going to be located and in relevance to the entire parcel here. So if you take a look here, we do, here's Empire Road here and Wiltsey Bridge Road along the bottom here. So we're oriented. We've got Miller Pond in the middle of the camp, and then our proposed 3-unit staff cabin is right here towards the east side of this parcel here, and then the proposed single family dwelling would be here on the west side of Miller Pond. So hopefully that's a little bit more clear visual for you as far as the overall location of the proposed structures. All right. I'll jump to the next drawing here. This just shows a slightly more zoomed in view. Again, we have Empire Road here along the right side of the sheet, Miller Pond here in the middle. And then we have our proposed 3-unit staff cabin here and the proposed single family dwelling here. We did complete at the request of the board from the previous meeting, we did complete a wetland delineation. It was a concern of the board, the distance to that official wetland boundary. So that delineation has been completed, and the official boundary as delineated is shown on these plans. And we've also updated the dimensions of the proposed development to that wetland boundary. We're showing approximately 153 feet, give or take, to that official delineated boundary. And that's for the single family residence. And just to confirm for the cabin as well. Correct. Yes, exactly. 685 feet to that wetland boundary.
And the road is there, that little loop?
Yes, that is an existing camp loop road at the moment. So we do propose to tie the proposed development off of the existing camp infrastructure.
And so it's already a cleared area.
This area, yes, this is marginally cleared. There may still need to be some, minor vegetation removal in the course of construction, but it's not proposed to be a clear cut area.
I was out there for the sidewalk and we were looking for a stake for the single family house and we never saw it. So did the house move or something? Or was it the septic area we were looking for?
It was where we thought it would be, but the stake wasn't where we thought it. Planted now in that area.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, we did update the plans to show that area.
So we're outside the stream buffer right now.
Yeah.
The 150.
Correct. Yep.
So did you move the house based on the stream buffer? Or is that?
The house location was shifted slightly. It wasn't shifted based on that 150 foot buffer requirement. It was more just shifted to fit preferences for siting. But we do meet the 150 foot setback with 153 feet approximately. And that is now also, I should note, that's also now updated to be to the edge of limit of disturbance rather than the building itself.
That's what you're showing here. That's what I'm wondering if it was a new road or.
Yes. So, yep, there will be a small portion of proposed drive, sort of just an improved area. over what's there existing. But we do anticipate that the limit of disturbance would remain outside of that 150 feet.
No apartments there. One back.
On the same location?
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's see.
Have you done any septic testing? I know you were just indicating the areas. Have you done any testing?
So we've looked at soils data preliminarily. I believe Adam has conducted some testing in the field as well. But we do plan to work with Adam some more on further testing and eventually, of course, move to a Columbia County Department of Health submission.
Where Columbia County has changed their method of approving septic systems.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, our office has been communicating with them on that, and we'll be keyed into that as we proceed for this project.
Design. That's my understanding.
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
So we're not going to ask for it, but it's going to be a condition of permit that you bring an approved septic plan to the building inspector.
Sure. Yep. That sounds good to us. All right. Otherwise, I think the other sheets here are really just sort of the zoomed in version of what we've looked at already. There may be some additional details that are a little bit more visible on these zoomed in sheets. Most notably, I can say that per the board's feedback, we did incorporate an ADA accessible ramp for the 3-unit staff cabin. Definitely wanted to make sure that concern was addressed and we have proper access.
I mean, it's classified as a multiple dwelling.
Sure. Yep. Absolutely. This. Right. Yeah. That would be a.
ADA
Not sure which.
Proposed ADA accessible ramp, 12%
Right.
maximum uninterrupted slope. I don't know where you're seeing gravel.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah, okay.
I have a new one
Yeah.
in front of you, the big paper.
Yeah, from the picture.
Okay.
Right.
It went from gravel.
That's the other thing is we're missing on getting updated things onto the,
Yeah.
Fine. And stuff is just getting dumped on the desk. And the multiple dwelling is being served by the water system of the camp.
Correct.
Whereas the
Yep.
Single family house is getting its own.
Yes, exactly.
Aaron, have comments? Welcome comments.
no, it's considered a multifamily,
It's 3 units
right? So it's a multifamily.
under the building code. It's a multi.
So we have other zoning for that. You've reviewed that stuff.
Yep. Yeah, we've coordinated with Mr. Ferrato on that, and we'll proceed with architectural plans and work with him on building permit when the time comes there. Yep.
I mean, they're tiny little units for houses.
Sure. Yep.
I just know we have a separate supplemental reg for multifamily. There's the size they can be and all that stuff, but it
Yep.
oversees all that.
Yep. Absolutely. We'll work with him on that. No problem.
Anybody else have any thoughts, comments, questions? Yeah, it's pretty simple.
Yeah,
But you broke this into 2 applications, so we need to approve it separately.
Yes, that's my understanding.
so yeah, even though it's one set of drawings, so
This is all.
That's certainly something that we could do.
Site plan review, I mean, we could vote on it tonight. Over anything? Or is it just the public hearing wasn't noticed?
Abbreviated site plan doesn't need a vote.
Right,
Right.
and this is a regular scheduled,
Meeting.
it should have been on the website or something.
Yeah.
It is technically not the first Thursday of the month.
We have an application that's split. It's on one site. One's a single family home, one's 3 council units. So one kind of is a site plan, one's kind of an abbreviated site plan, so there was no noticing done.
The multi-family, I think, is considered commercial. Yeah. So that,
I agree with that. My understanding of the code is that the abbreviated site plan for the single family residence would not necessarily require a public
That would-
hearing. Right, but the site plan review and special use permit for the staff cabin would require a public hearing. Yeah.
All right, so we're in agreement. So, why don't we make a motion to approve the abbreviated site plan for,
but the drawings are not separate.
they are set,
It's in one package here.
but you filed them separately.
Sure.
I
So
was explained.
yes, our applications, the actual application forms are separate for the 2 structures. The drawings were just submitted as one set, just for the pure reason of not wasting more paper. It could be considered that the drawings specific to each structure, of course, go with those application forms. If the board would like us to separate the drawings in some way, we could certainly do that. We just wanted to be ecologically
Yeah.
conscious.
You're still gonna have to make a set to file for the abbreviated site plan review and a set to file for the multifamily. Yeah, well, they're 2 separate things. So even though you're gonna have drawings on a set that is not relevant to that application, I think you're wasting paper. We need, how many do we need stamped? Like 4, something like that.
Something like that. If
Yeah.
they just go in the file and they go to X.
Say that again? So it says multifamily is.
This is a permanent structure
If you
with
go
plumbing.
under site plan
Right.
review where it lists which items go for site plan review.
The 3 units
Family.
has plumbing and it's not temporary. It's a full blown building.
Yeah, I think we can look at that.
check
Yeah,
it.
but there's a thing called temporary structure. For one property for a period of time and there's some costs. I don't know what that means.
If you just look on the page for site plan review, my thing is not loading here. I don't understand why.
It does call out in the definition of a dwelling that it is a permanent dwelling for a family or individual, so I'm trying to find a camp call out. I think there is a camp.
There is separate stuff for a camp, but this is multifamily, isn't it? Or is this a multifamily or is this go under?
I don't know if it's a dwelling, based on the way the dwelling definition. is.
Right, I see, because it's.
So
Seasonal, but a lot of people,
Permanent structure, but nobody's gonna live there.
This is a temporary. Structure. That is the time that we pays the seven. Well,
Well-
that's unclear.
All right.
If I recall correctly, I believe we did an extensive code review for this project. I believe the temporary classification or camp classification carries with it a time limit on how long it's able to be occupied annually. Yes, I think there's an entry, it may be in the definitions. I can't recall exactly, but there is a stipulation in some fashion of how many weeks per year are allowed to be occupied. And
You discussed this with Ed?
so Ed's recommendation, like I said, was to classify it as a multifamily dwelling. Yeah.
So that means it's a commercial site plan review. And that means it's a full site plan review, and it means it's a public hearing
For the three units.
for a multifamily,
Yes.
if it says it's a multifamily.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so.
so that's very separate from your abbreviated site plan review.
Yes. Yep.
And so that's what I was saying, as far as, I don't have that list in front of me.
Well, you can look up the list for the site.
Right,
I
for
think
a
the question
commercial site
is
plan review. Just
whether
to
or
have
not-
everything. And, whether we can have that public hearing for that. Oh, boy, we don't want it. 3 public hearings in one night we're scheduling for next month.
I don't even. Nobody's gonna care.
That's nice.
I don't think anyone can see it, but me.
It's about 900 feet, right?
975 square feet.
But we have to follow the,
Right.
well, there's gonna be a crowd here and then they're gonna get interested. It's just that
You're right.
to do both solar and cell tower on the same night, it's. We wish we could change the time of our meeting to start at 5 o'clock, so we don't have to go home at 11.
That we can do. but
Oh, can we?
I think we can. Yeah, I think we can change the time. Well, we're getting here at 6 and be ready for 7. Okay. What's the board's pleasure? Do we approve the single family so that he can get on with building his house?
Yeah,
Okay.
so we can make,
You want to get that?
Yes.
Okay.
so I'll make a motion to approve a abbreviated site plan review for the Bronx House Emmanuel Camp, single family home.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Got that.
You're
Thank you
gonna
very
have to
much.
produce a septic system for Ed. I'm sure he knows to ask for it, but,
Sure. Yep, absolutely.
and,
You're giving me the drawing.
no, we don't.
Abbreviated site plan review?
No. Well, only subdivision.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, only stamp something.
okay.
So, if you can make it for next month, the mailings and notices. Because of our lack of staff, we've been asking the applicant to do the mailings.
Okay.
We have to get you at least the radius and the names,
Sure.
which hopefully we can do.
Okay.
Or we'll have to,
Yeah.
because, we're very shorthanded.
Yep. No, that's tough, but yeah, certainly we're willing to work with you
Yeah,
and
those towns make you do it yourself.
right. Yeah. No problem. We'll should we coordinate with the clerk or how would you like us to go about that?
Coordinate.
We don't have,
We don't have a clerk.
Oh,
though.
sorry. Yes.
Email the board,
Okay.
myself also.
Okay.
And,
Yeah.
I'll make sure it gets around. So you've got some work to do for the next 2 weeks because it's got to be in for the deadline. If you didn't make it
Yep.
until September, that'd be okay.
All right.
But if you make it, we'll hear you.
Okay.
okay, so the applicant's gonna do the mailing, we're gonna post for public hearing.
Yeah, we guys should do the notice, the public notice.
Yes, I'm making
Let
the
them do the mailing.
clerk task list for whoever is available. That was it. That's all we need.
Sarah can whip that up, I hope, if she stops by. She has a mapping that will do the radius.
Great.
Members. It's a big site, so it could be a lot of people.
Sure, yep.
Oh, to help you with that.
Yeah,
Isn't
but-
that on, isn't that's on,
Yes.
we have
Yeah, I
to?
think it's 150 feet, if not 200.
Is it just from our parcel? No,
Yeah,
one
just-
parcel we're building on or all of our?
The parcel you're building on.
So there's
So
nobody.
the piece in Copeg or wherever else you are, that's separate.
Wait, there's
So you'll have to notify.
there isn't,
Copeg.
Right.
within how many feet?
It's either 150 or 200.
So there's nobody within 200 feet of your place?
No, it's from the corner to the
Oh,
Right.
property bound.
All right,
The
600, right?
cell tower is 1,500 feet.
But that's public information that we have to do that.
What?
You can't find out it's all on the public stuff, all the text, the maps and stuff like that,
She has a way of
addresses of
doing
the
the
owner.
radius very easy. There's a way to do it.
Well,
Right,
if she's,
Colleen?
but if she's available,
It's easy to do if you know what you're doing. I think it's an internal thing to go. Might have to do with the assessor's record or something. From the tax.
and also, what is the time limit for that? That has to be notified that when they have to be,
The mailings have to go out 10 days.
the mailings go out 10 days before the meeting?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
and town board member, if you get rid of the return receipt, the people get the notice. The return receipt gets you a whole bunch of bad mail back in your office. Yeah. Hint, hint. It's not a big change. State law only says record of notification.
Yep. All right.
Okay, so we have 3 tasks then.
Thank you very much for
Okay.
moving the single family residence forward. We'll certainly reach out to coordinate on the multifamily dwelling. Only other quick question I had for the board is due to the proximity of the project to the town line, does the board anticipate circulating to county planning with a referral on that?
I don't think this needs county planning. No, I think you just notify Copeg, I think.
Okay.
It's Copeg's property, I don't know.
Yep. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Well, we will we'll reach out and coordinate further. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. All right.
And then the next. New business. Somebody has some new business for us?
You're not.
You're up.
You made it. Like an hour.
Okay, you got 5 minutes.
Like, if you look at the zoning law, they're all the requirements. So that's never
It's never gonna be any. Sizes.
The whole place is commercial.
Yeah, but there's this, but it's a campsite. It's still, we call out different things for campsites. Because it's never gonna be any.
A campground, anything like that is commercial. It's not a residence. Good night, thank you. It's not a resident, it's a commercial establishment. The whole camp is a commercial.
But like the first bullet is literally mention of 800 square feet.
Yeah.
The whole thing is 900.
Right, it's never gonna make it.
That's-
the first one.
Ed should have noticed that.
Yeah, that's why I think there's something, because this is, we call out in our zoning, temporary living quarters for recreation, education, and vacation. Seasonal, just, yeah,
So does that have a size?
no, it doesn't say anything.
Should we make it? Yeah,
I made a note of it.
okay.
Yeah, because it's, we call it out as a thing, but then we don't say it anywhere else in the code. Like it says temporary living quarters, and we say what we define as temporary living quarters, but then we don't talk about it anywhere else in the.
Our code complicates things a lot of times that don't have to be complicated.
The thing to look at is the referral from Ed.
Right,
That's what we're supposed to go by.
right, but this is never gonna pass muster, because as Christine just said, the whole thing's 900 square feet, and we're right, we're 3 families.
Yeah.
But how's that gonna classify it as she just said, it's gotta be 800 square feet per.
Ed should have caught
unit.
that. We made a note.
You know what I mean?
to
Like
ask
the-
Ed.
Yeah, we got it, because.
Made a note.
All right, yeah, because we gotta figure this out, because it just doesn't sound, because think about what's happening down in Ancrumdale. The problem we're having with that's commercial, that's gonna be 3 things, and that's an existing structure, and it's not gonna be kosher,
Yeah.
so. This is
Well,
not gonna,
Well, just to give you a heads up, zoning revisions have changed that down to 400. But we need to push that through. We just finally finished multifamily and we need to pass that law. Bring it.
we should
to the-
talk to, we should. talk
Yes,
to-
I'm gonna tell Carol that,
We
yeah.
should talk to ZRC about this too, because this is like a totally gray area.
Yes, remind me of that, so the board to send me, I need to look at that and I'll bring it to zoning revisions to review.
Well, we didn't see any plans. I don't know if there's cooking in each unit. I know there's a bathroom and a bedroom.
I think there's cooking, because they have I don't think it's good, because I met the chef of the camp at the bicycle store the other day.
So it's just bedrooms?
Yeah, it's just.
Bedrooms and bathrooms, but
Yeah.
yeah, but
We
they,
should have been asking. all
but
this.
these are not for campers. These are for the
For the
council.
Counselors.
Yeah.
Counselor.
So I don't know if there's any kind of cooking facility, which then we could just. But it's a multiple dwelling because there's 3 separate units. They got walls between them
Right.
and they have 3 separate entrances.
All right,
So it's like a motel.
Right, yeah, for a camp. I guess we'll just have to figure this out, because we do call out this temporary living quarters for
Yeah.
camping. Anyway.
I
moving
think
on.
we can find a way around it.
All right, moving on.
thank you for.
Okay.
Your patience.
Thank you for your time.
This night could have been worse. Let me just.
You haven't heard me yet.
So we have some of
You
those.
don't. So this is an
Some-
informational hearing. There's only one set here.
Oh,
because It's
okay.
informational.
But Melvin has it on the.
And if you'd like, I can do it with paper, or Harlan, my associate, can
If
do it on the
anybody's still on
screen.
Zoom, they can see it.
So why don't we do it on the screen if people don't mind flipping around?
And can you just state your name for the record?
Yes, my name is Doug Jones with LeBlanc Jones Landscape Architects. I'm here regarding DeWitt Lane. I'm representing the owners, Lily Zoe and Daniel Levinson. I think Lily is in attendance. I don't know, or by Zoom.
Yeah, both of them are.
If she wanted to say some opening statement, and then I'll move through as quickly as I can.
Hi, everyone. We'll keep things brief, as I understand you guys have had a couple of long nights. I'm Lily, this is Daniel, and we were really excited to acquire the property at DeWitt Lane a few months ago, and we're really excited to be spending more time in Ancrum and Ancrumdale. It's such a beautiful area. In taking on this property, it wasn't a light decision, and we hope to be in the area for a long time. And I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with the property, but we're inheriting a property with a number of structures, and we will try to repair and restore as much as we can, but some of the structures also are beyond repair. And so we're hoping to spend maybe more time there before we make any final decisions. But in the meantime, our top priority right now is the driveway, which Doug will go through shortly. But that's really what we're focusing our energy on right now, is making sure that we have a safe driveway to the main house on the property. And we've been working with LeBlanc Jones for a number of months now. And thank you so much for your time. And yeah, that's really it.
Okay, we met with Ed Ferrato. As Lily just described, there's a proposal to build a new roadway. The property includes wetlands. A portion of the roadway that we're proposing traverses through the buffer zone. That's one of the reasons that Ed suggested we be here. The site has some very steep slopes. We believe we have a proposal that conforms to the town's guidelines for private drives. I can walk you
And
through that,
what do you
but it's
believe that is?
challenging.
Let me just stop you because there's a mistake in the highway.
Ed highlighted for us that
No 12%.
which is part of what I'm here to discuss this evening. So that was one of the other issues that he highlighted. Do you want me to do it on paper, or would you prefer to look at the screen? What's easier for the board?
What's easier for you?
Probably the screen. That's what I'm the most familiar with. Go ahead, Harlan. Next slide, please. So there is a bigger screen. This is a 120-acre parcel of land. It's accessed via private drive off of Friar Tuck Road. DeWitt Lane is a right-of-way through an abutting property, sort of parallels Punch Brook. It's basically flat and starts to ascend when it gets to our lot line. As you can see, there's a pond as you enter into the site. Next slide, please, Harlan.
How wide is that drive?
The drive is approximately 12 feet in width. Our proposal regarding I'll show you momentarily, there's a small segment that we want to reconstruct. The piece that is the right of way, we'd like to repair. It's in disrepair. We would fill and
easement?
level. It's a right of way.
What does that mean?
It means that
Do
it's.
you have a legal piece of paper that says you can drive? on it?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
And it's written in beautiful cursive from decades and decades ago. But yes, there is a legal right of way to provide access to this 120-acre parcel.
Okay.
We took drone photography. That's what you see on the monitor now. The thing that I would highlight, and I'll do it at a larger scale in a moment, is you can see a diagonal line sort of running, through the site. That line is basically where we'd like to put a roadway. So there isn't an existing drive there. That's the path of least resistance that the former owners were using to access the site.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, so here, I'll do it on paper. So this is just a worn path through mown lawn area.
Oh,
So what happens is, I'll do this slide in a little bit more detail. There are currently 3 dwellings on the site. There's a house that overlooks the pond. There's a house mid-slope. This lower house is at about elevation 600. The mid house is 100 feet approximately higher than that at 705. There's an upper house at elevation 730. All of those 3 buildings are existing. This building is currently being renovated, the mid-slope house as I'm describing it. The oldest of the 3 structures is the house overlooking the pond. It includes a number of accessory structures. The surveyor has called them a coop, a summer kitchen, 2 cottages, and a pole barn. In addition to those structures, down on the lower, flatter portion of the site, there's an existing abandoned pool and an existing abandoned tennis court. The upper house is accessed by a roadway that traverses through the field and then winds through a very steep, narrow, tight radii really unsafe. I think it probably originated as a logging road. And now it's the catalyst for Lily and Daniel wanting to build a new, safer road. As it exists, you ascend all the way to the top of the hill and then descend down to the mid slope. So
Your
we're,
white area isn't off the property. I mean,
it is not. This is the only area we were able to capture with the
that
drone.
triangle there kind of,
Yeah, it's the only part we have our
but
own
it's
drone.
all
photography.
your ownership.
This is all under our ownership, correct? The entire 120 acres. And so the next thing I wanted to talk about is the current plan for preservation or removal of structures. And the things that are shown in red are the things that the owners, because of their current condition and or the desire to have a safer road up to the dwellings that they're preserving, they'd like to build a new entry drive. So all of the structures that are down in association with the pond would be demolished. Additionally, they're proposing to remove the existing swimming pool, and we would like to remove the tennis court where it is and discuss with you this evening an alternate location for
The
a
house
tennis
by the
court.
pond demolishing also.
That's correct. It's sort of beyond repair.
Yeah, okay, I just want to understand.
Is that green line there the same as the white light line that you showed us in the previous?
It is.
Okay.
It is. So what we're showing on this in terms of red and green, the red section is the portion of the driveway that would go away. We'd like to abandon what is rendered in green or no longer use it as a roadway. It would essentially become a trail. We'd allow it to naturalize.
And I'm sorry, just to triple check, the two houses that are not red, those are both plans to persist. And one of them you said is being.
This house is currently being renovated.
Okay.
This house is currently not occupied and really needs to be renovated to be habitable.
Hold on. I'm,
Very confusing.
yeah,
The plans that you have are not the plans that I'm.
All right,
showing.
yeah.
The plans we left with Ed.
It's-
2
I'm-
weeks
So the
ago.
red- Pete, I'm sorry.
Sure. The red
Oh,
structures.
just the road.
The red road is the piece that we'd like to abandon. Let me quickly flip.
Can you bring
This
on-
is what we'd like
Can
to
you
build.
back closer so that.
Absolutely.
Because we only have one copy, so maybe you guys can kind of come around or something. I don't care about the screen if it's. You can't see it from back there.
That was my fear.
That one is pretty good. That helps.
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully you. I'll move
looking
to
at
this
something.
plan. Okay.
Yeah.
I got it. I got it. So this is what we're proposing, okay? So those structures that I described are proposed to be demolished. The existing pool and the existing tennis court would be demolished. We would build a new driveway. I'm going to show you in a lot more detail what it is that we're proposing. That drive would sweep around an existing knoll, and then it would ascend that path that I showed you where they've been driving historically is kind of a straight line here. It's very steep because it goes up and over the knoll. We'd like to sweep around that and ascend up to the house. Currently, there's only a lower access to a basement level garage. We're proposing a spur that would provide access at first floor level. In some future phase, we would talk to you about the rest of the driveway and the house up above. This is our master plan.
The other driveway is getting abandoned,
It is.
the lower.
This driveway through the woods that's very steep. It's a logging road.
I've been there, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
I've driven them. It's
Yeah.
insane.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you for your support. I'm gonna flip. I have too many drawings for this time of evening. I will move quickly. Great. This is the grading plan that we've developed. I'm gonna quickly move past that, but you can see on this plan, it spurs off of the existing drive. So we're preserving everything back to Friar Tuck Road. and wraps around the knoll, ascends up to the dwelling that is being renovated. Here you can see it over the aerial photograph so that you can better appreciate how it relates to this path of least resistance that people have driven over for some time. I'd like to talk a little bit more about why we're proposing the driveway alignment that we are. One is that there's a beautiful mature red oak. If I could fold this further, you'd be able to see that. There aren't a lot of, as you can see, there's a lot of woods on the site, but there aren't a lot of sort of freestanding trees. We'd like to give that some breathing room. We'd like to provide a much gentler curve. If we sweep out the way I've drawn it, it will allow us, because we have a longer length and we're not going straight up the hillside, to have gentler slopes. As a part of the project, we are proposing to disturb this area anyway because we're removing the tennis court and the swimming pool. There are not. The work that we're doing, and I think I have a better plan to show you the relation to the buffer. So the yellow line is the 100-foot buffer. The red line is the 150-foot buffer. So you can see there's a spur that we're removing. We're essentially proposing to pivot that so that it goes through the tennis court, goes where the slopes are a little bit softer. So this piece is within the buffer zone. There's no work within a resource area.
Other than the demolition.
The demo, there's the farmhouse has a small portion of it that touches within the 100, but the balance of the work would be either within the 150 or outside of the buffer zone. This plan shows you horizontal alignments. I'll do it quickly. They're all generous curves. Your guidelines say that radii shouldn't be smaller than 40 feet. The smallest radii on the plan is 69 feet. The guidelines describe that if you have a driveway, private drive longer than 500 feet in length, you should have 15 by 50 foot pull-offs for fire trucks, and those are there. Correct. Those are there. So we're proposing that. At the top of the hill, we have the ability to use these driveways as hammerheads and to be able to turn around. So the horizontal alignment and pull-offs for emergency vehicles are addressed on that drawing. This is going to get a little bit trickier, but I'm going to make it as simple as I can, I hope. You can see we have a key.
We have colors.
We have colors. And what I'm showing you is the existing topography within the proposed alignment of the drive. And what you can see is by the time I get to blue, I'm greater than 12%. So our site is relatively flat. Obviously, it's very flat where the tennis court is. When I get into the red slopes, the existing slopes are 10 to 12%. When I get into the blue slopes, I have some very, very steep slopes. When I get to purple, they're even steeper than that. How do we manage that? That's the next drawing. So this is the grading plan. I'm going to show you the colored version. That is the this is the proposal. You saw my purple scheme. There's no more purple. There are some 11.5% slopes that are proposed. So this is what we're proposing. It's relatively flat. We reach a point where sort of as you're coming around this bend, the roadway is kind of paralleling the contour, as you can see. These are 1-foot contours. And what we're doing is, this is the 660 contour. It's basically right on top of the 660 existing, meaning that we're meeting existing grade. from 660 down to 630, where again, we're basically right on top of the existing grade. This is infill. So to be able to flatten the conditions that I described from elevation 660 down to elevation 630, we're filling. To accomplish this, we have a fill that is as much as 7 feet. Part of what is advantageous about the knoll is we're sort of capturing that landform. We have an existing cleared area. I haven't described that yet, but there are no walls, and we're not cutting down trees. So if I went back to my aerial photo and you can see the lines here in green, this is all moving through the field. The existing road that people have been driving, or the path that people have been driving, is a corridor between two wooded areas. With this grading plan, we're able to keep the limit of disturbance within the currently cleared area. The maximum.
More than an acre of disturbance.
We do, yeah. The length, the overall length of what's in color on this plan is 1,700 linear feet of driveway. The drive itself,
Showing a realistic area.
it's fully thought out. Will be better thought out when
3
we,
feet on each side of the driveway.
right? No, so I mean, it's sectionally, it's what your guidelines require. It's a 12-foot drive, 2-foot shoulders. There's swales. In some cases, there's swales on 2 sides of the drive, picking up the water so it doesn't flow over the drive, as well as it has a cross slope, so conducting the water down the hill. We're proposing, and again, it's because we have purple and blue on the other plan, that we would utilize an 11.5% slope as the maximum slope on the site. I described the fill condition. What happens is from 660 up to about 700, we're in cut. So we're cutting into the land for the upper piece. We're filling in the land in the lower piece. We are praying soil. We'll know when we excavate. There's nothing on the site that I've observed that would suggest that it was going to be rock, but we've gotten a proposal. And of course, it says unforeseen conditions of encountering rock. We don't know yet. With certainty. It's what, I mean, to achieve these grades, it's really what's required.
This is a preliminary hearing, just for informational.
Yes.
Will,
Kind of,
will this become finished
I guess it has to,
for,
site plan. Something.
excuse me?
We're not building anything new.
Well, we didn't get there yet.
There are
No.
no new structures proposed other than a tennis court. So we're here, as I understood it, in meeting with Mr. Ferrato, based upon the work being proposed within the buffer zone.
Well, there may be variances required.
We can do that, usually a waiver for us.
Yeah. I don't know about driveway slope.
Oh,
Well,
not
no,
the
but
slope,
wait,
but the buffer.
Aren't we, but everything here is under 12.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't permit 12. That's a mistake in our
Well, so what do we
This-
permit?
10. Somebody has to go into the highway code and knock out 12%. We have more complaints that guys had to redesign driveways because they designed them to 12%. The fire marshal and Ed go, no, good. And we gotta get that out of the code. It's created so much havoc for people and cost them money. So.
Well, so
No, well,
The-
there could be variances, but the problem with
Correct.
this is life safety. I mean, we gotta cut to the chase. If a fire truck can't get up there, because the slopes are too steep.
well, a fire truck can't get up there in the current condition because the driveway wouldn't allow them to drive up it. So what we're here trying to accomplish is a safe driveway. And a safe driveway that, and we're trying to do it in a way that works with the land rather than scars the land.
I get all
And,
that.
and I have, just because I have it, I will share it with you. And I don't have the detailed study that you appreciated in my prior drawing. But what we've done is looked at, this is what an 11.5% looks like. And my maximum cut is 4 feet. If I tried to go to 10%, I have a maximum cut of 8.5 feet. And that 8.5 feet cut is going
On the
to,
high side.
it's going to expand the corridor that I have to grade, and I'm gonna cut down a lot more trees. And there really isn't gonna be a way when you put in, you know, an 8-foot deep canal to make it feel like it belongs with this topography.
I know, I hate seeing.
Colleen, could you put your firemen for us, please? And
What do you
join
think?
us. I'm kind of at a loss. We're trying to improve it, but it ain't making code. So
But New York State Fire Code, but it's 10%. You can get a variance, it can either be through the state or the local. So I don't think you can. So, but that just means you're gonna be getting where.
I think only- I think only the state can waive the.
I think the local person.
When we met with Ed, he suggested it was discretionary, and I won't step beyond that, but that was the word that he used
Discretionary for who?
for either himself or someone else within Ankrum. And that's where I'm not going to misstep. Yeah. I mean,
We're not gonna go against.
No.
But what do you want me to ask you? Or go?
Well, yeah, what do we do with this? First off,
I've been up there before. I know what it's like. We usually would.
how come everybody's been up there?
We would take our fire phones.
oh, you took the Hummer.
So like the Hummer can get up.
What a pumper.
I need the purple plan.
I mean, that's the
to
question.
talk to.
You get a variance if you can fight the fire.
Right, and it's not just our equipment. If that's a fire there, we're gonna have multiple. There's different jurisdictions. But it's not just our equipment, and that's why, like the turnouts are created based on like the maximum, you're looking at the maximum amount.
Oh. Sorry, Melvin. Sorry, Melvin. So,
Oh, okay, sorry.
I mean, ideally, I mean, you do have the turnouts, which is awesome. That's really good. The big thing about the turnouts is they have to be maintained. If you don't maintain them, they're just useless. Including plowed, all of it, mowed, everything. I mean, given what you had before, this is a better solution to that. Can we do it? Yeah, we can do it. But
Well, we have to do it.
But who approves it?
so it would have to be either Ed or it would
The
have to
variance
be
for the slope.
for the slope. Is that what you mean?
We're gonna approve this as a something. Or no?
Somebody has to approve it.
Oh, you want to know what it's for? So, steep slope. That could be why it's here. You mean like what is your question?
Yeah,
Like,
what's our job on this application?
right, is that what you're questioning
Yeah.
me about?
It sounds like it needs a variance.
It would probably be to exceed the slope of the New York
It's a
State Fire.
variance from the.
Right, who has to approve that? Who does that variance?
So it can either be the state fire code officials, or, I mean, it can also come from, I think, the local fire code.
So David Boyd.
But my guess is he won't do it,
Okay.
because he's been instructed, I think, by the fire district doesn't want that liability. It's a liability.
Yeah.
The
sure.
reason that it's there is for health and safety and life safety. So that's why it's there.
So. it
So-
sounds like-
The irony of which is that that's entirely what you want to
Right,
do.
I know what you're doing. And I think that if you were to apply for that variance, I think they would consider that
So-
based on what you already have.
So one of the things, I guess, building off of some of what I've heard this evening, I would think that it would be easier to accomplish that if we had the support of the town, if we had the support of the board. So if there were a way to say that, this is, there are a few unique things about it. One, we're not here asking to build a building that requires this driveway. This is kind of a
This is the master plan,
retrofit.
because
It is.
my first concern is you didn't show the other driveway to the other house. And even if it's phase two, I think it should be part of the master plan. No, it's not. There's another house.
Yeah,
It's a little further.
There's another
Yeah.
house.
I know, but.
This
we need
right
to-
here, is that what you're talking about?
In part, it's driven by economics. They're only
Sure.
renovating one house at a time.
It's a
But,
considerable distance away.
Yeah.
And I think this house, no, this house way over here, it's not close.
But one of the drawings have the two houses.
Correct.
Yeah, it's on the screen now.
Yeah, it's connected by an existing driveway
Right, but
that we're not.
you're not
that's why
changing.
being here this evening, contemplating this time. But this is.
So because you're not gonna renovate the house,
We were going to renovate from this point up as part of a future phase. And you can see when we've drawn this, we're drawing essentially.
yeah, that's my
focus.
point. Make it phase two, so it's part of the approval.
Excellent. I would do
Okay.
that. Thank
Yeah.
you for your advice.
Otherwise, and I, one of the things to sweeten the pie, whether you want to do it or not, is in these situations, if you offer to sprinkle the dwelling, goes a long way.
The one thing that you're lucky that as long as we've got access to that, we're pretty good. But you're a long ways from where our trucks have to come from. So, I mean, it's a consideration to think about.
Well,
I-
if
you
you offer
know-
it to the state, it's gonna go.
Yeah, that too. I mean, this is certainly a much better and much probably safer option,
We have to make it approval.
Right, exactly.
Sounds like we don't,
We don't want to hurt you, we want to help you, but
Right.
it doesn't sound like we're making an approval, we're making a recommendation.
I don't know that, but and again, this is just an informational thing.
Right.
I can go back to Mr. Ferrato and pursue this further.
I don't know what he wanted from us other than advice. I mean, is this something?
Well, he thought it was because of the buffer, that there's work going on within a buffer,
Correct,
a wetland buffer.
correct.
And then the slopes.
And
There's two things.
So it should come in front of us for something, site plan approval, I don't know. It's not abbreviated site plan when I'm building it.
Is there,
Well, actually.
It's
it
just
is-
for a
it's-
driveway.
It is abbreviated. Well, I mean,
Right, it's just,
it's just,
There's no question of the other road that's up there. When, no, not that one, the other, coming across the top.
yeah.
no,
Right.
Oh,
Like the trail.
oh, this is just a trail.
That's just.
So there's an old abandoned logging road that we just like to make a footpath.
Okay, but that couldn't serve.
No, and again, the grades are so steep that there really is, this is the only path up, the logical path up. It's where the grades are the gentlest, where you don't have to cut down the forest. And, right now they're driving straight, but it's not even close to what the grades you would aspire to achieve, which is why we're sweeping around the hill and proposing the fills and the cuts. that
And
we
part
would-
of the argument is the only way to get to the house.
Correct.
That other route wouldn't do that.
Right, there is no safer, easier, flatter path.
so we can waive in the buffer zone,
Yeah, we can waive buffer.
we can waive buffer.
That's in the site plan.
But this needs to come to us
like, we
with a
don't know
referral.
what, yeah.
Yeah, Ed needs to give us a referral, like what we're supposed to review.
Okay.
And
Or what was it, didn't that referral say?
Yeah, sometimes it's the driveway stays with the building department.
Right, and
Wire or some.
if it's coming as a waiver for us, we need that in writing. As a request.
Right.
And with your description like you've done.
Okay.
like I said, the specific cases about waiving the screen buffer request.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a very specific.
All right, I have one closing thing. I know you're tired, but.
Oh, that's all right. We were only here till 10 o'clock last night.
I can't believe you did this 2 nights in a row.
I can't either.
And for the record, The only one that was advertised was last night, and I didn't know whether I missed your meeting.
Uh,
So I'm like, oh God, should I have been there? We screwed up.
Sorry.
I was so relieved to find out I was here the right evening.
Where did you come from?
Boston.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. So are you staying the night somewhere?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I know the area.
But-
Actually not. This plan is showing you areas that aren't wooded and aren't wetlands and are flatter than 12%. And what you can see is there isn't a lot of our site that satisfies those criteria. And I'm showing you this because we'd like to build a tennis court. And we'd like to do that where obviously we're not going to do it in a wetland, where we didn't have to cut down a lot of trees. And we'd like to do it in these light green areas if we could. And the area that seems like the best choice is partially within the 150-foot buffer.
So one of the things I think that is important to see, so like your map, that wetland, is that from any wetland delineation?
It is.
It is.
So Mark Rominsky, Wiki, went out and flagged all the wetlands, Wesley.
Alright, so
Chase
your
identified
maps
all
are very
those.
accurate
So
then.
this was done within the last 3 months.
Nice. All right, so now there's two.
So
things
there's
in the-
there's a tennis court, a portion of which is in.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
What kind of court surface would it be?
It's likely an asphalt court. In terms of where it's sited, there's a knoll between it and the pond. The tennis court would pitch sort of uphill, toward away from the pond. And we would put in stormwater management to capture that
Can't
water.
do something within asphalt.
Um,
I know you could be creative.
I could, the clients are, for the lack of a better adjective, entry-level tennis court players, so I don't think they
There's so many
aspire
other
to
surfaces.
our true clay or some of those others.
You can drive to Copac and play for.
No, it's something to think about.
Okay,
I don't know if that's gonna be part of the application that comes to us.
That's gonna be.
It's kind of,
yeah.
That's gonna be hard to win. Tennis court, it's tough. This one's about rendering lots unbuildable, the specific stuff.
Yeah.
We've done this before where we did away with the driveway and when there's one application where they had started to build the foundation.
Yes,
Yeah, we did away.
you're right, and that was the only way to get there. Yeah,
yeah.
it was. They had no choice. Wow.
That's one of the things that we'll look at is no other way to get around property.
okay. That's why I'm here this evening to hear everything.
yeah,
you just shared.
you're making it better than it is, but if you leave it alone, you don't need our help. That's not necessarily the best scenario.
Yeah, what are we doing?
If
Yeah,
you-
because you don't have a.
Yeah,
Start with.
but I think this doesn't help us all to just be able to chat about it and understand what you're doing, and it seems to make a lot of sense. I like that you're trying to preserve as much on the property as you can. And it's just up about a code about the fire.
It's a life safety issue.
Yeah.
What it is. Okay,
Okay,
yeah,
great.
well, maybe we'll see you again, maybe we won't.
I-
We'll happily
Yeah,
entertain.
maybe he'll go ahead.
Okay, but in terms of, if there were the ability to get a variance, it sounds like the general feeling of the board is working with the land and preserving the vegetation is desirable.
Yeah.
And
You're making it better.
okay, if
At that-
someone will give you.
At that grade.
Okay, and with regard to the tennis court,
That's,
try another solution.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Okay.
yeah, that one's tough for us to waive as per our code.
You wouldn't like to get the driveway approval tied up in the sport.
Right, I mean, it will,
There doesn't seem to be anything, to us, like any credible reason to not put the tennis court someplace out of all this product. Except maybe you won't be able to see the pond. but that's-
no, you can't see it as vegetated now. So it would be to create a new flat area. It's just
Instead of
more in.
half cut, half.
Yeah.
So
just
that
to create
other,
it.
so that wetland, the 100 wetland buffer line, so it drops way down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what is that wetland like that? Where is that?
Pond, and then it's the stream that outflows from that.
Oh, so that dashed line is
This
just.
whole area is, it's sort of this corridor. Yeah.
It's really, actually, it's quite wet back there.
Yeah.
And then
I mean,
that's the
it's-
Punch Brook on the other side.
Yes. I mean, the area that is cleared is the area that's not steep and not wet. You know, that's the nature of this piece of land.
There ain't it.
Right.
Like, how big the little houses are there?
Yeah.
Being in one of the fire trucks, and we got to a certain point, and I'm looking at and I'm going, we're going where? Okay.
We're trying to fix that.
Right. Because we were, I think, looking at this food there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
very good.
excellent.
Well,
Thank you.
Can we,
Appreciate it.
can I make a motion to adjourn?
I don't know.
Break it.
Pat,
I am going to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I second.
all in favor?
Aye.
We're done.